Good morning. There's a Windows update, and I don't want to do it. And I won't do it right now. No idea what to talk about. Uh, been traveling a little bit. Hey, Whitney. Good morning. It's Monday, May 20th. And I'm drinking my coffee. It's 10 in the morning, 9:59. Not 10, 9:59. I'm early. Happy Patriots Day. What is Patriots Day? What is Patriots Day? Yeah, Cynthia, I didn't either. But here we are. Aaron from Atmos is tied up today, so we're not going to get to go to the build. He's in the middle of building stuff, and I don't know exactly what he's tied up with, but it's probably work related, not studio related. So my guest is here, and we've toured two studios, three, one, two, three. Oh, it's a Quebec thing. Hey, Chad, what's up, dude? How you been, bruh? I'm just waking up here in Carlos, Louisiana, which is, hey, Willie, what's up, Willie? The coffee has not kicked in yet. Let's do this thing. Oh, look, I didn't plug in the chat right. It's too damn early, bruh. 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 Seriously, bruh. That's kind of like the bro thing on the West Coast. Bro. Bro. Seriously, bro. Down here, it's bruh. 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 Seriously, bruh. Bruh. So we're halfway through May. Like, it's next week will be the end of May. Next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday. And I'll be headed to Austin, Texas. If the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Which the water here is actually very high. I went to the studio yesterday, Dale's studio, and the water was all the way up to the driveway. And there's two driveways, which is good because one was completely flooded out. Also, the good news is that the studio itself is up on the highest part of the property. But there is a bayou, like, right there. So, I'm a little worried about the hurricane season this year because there's so much standing water and high water that if we get a storm, a named storm that's Cat 3 or above, like all that water could get pushed up like miles, all the way to where I'm at right here. It's crazy. You got a wire on your screen, Willie? What do, man? What do with that? So, yeah. What have I done last week? Itinerary, traveling. One of my associates from a project that is I don't even have my pop filter up. An associate from the Capital Wasteland project flew down, come tour the studios. We went to Rick's, we went to the Marini, hung out for a little while. We went to Dale's, and then we came here. We were going to go to Atmos Mastering, which is 50% completed. But I think Aaron got called, the owner, Aaron, got called into work at the ACA, which is in Lafayette. Oh, yeah, get you some coffee, Whitney. Definitely need that shit. I do. I am addicted to it, the caffeine. Having trouble with the plug. I don't know if that means a wire plug or like a plug for weed, because it's Willie we're talking about here that I'm speaking of. Yeah, productive week, I guess. I'm kind of getting myself ready for a longer drive, go to Texas, and because I drive a lot. I've driven a long time. I drive a lot. It's just like a damn near like a meditation for me. But driving 3 hours to New Orleans and back, it's 6 hours. So it takes about 6-7 hours to get to Austin, and but that's one way. So May 31st, I'll be leaving, and June 1st, I'll be meeting up with Matt Moore, who we did an album with at the Marini, and John Landry, who is the principal photographer for all of the pictures for the album, and maybe, if we're lucky, Wendy Colonna. And we'll sit down and probably just do a little creative writing workshop. We've been talking about doing a show in Austin. So that's stuff in the works. It's not on an itinerary. The kids graduated last week. That was... I got hit right after the Stones' graduation from elementary school with this wave of sadness and happiness and crying stuff, because he's no longer an elementary school kid. And it didn't hit me till I got home. I'm like, holy shit, my son's going to middle school next year. And I got all sad about it, because like what the artwork that I get from the kids, or that I got those years that they're in elementary school, I love that stuff. I love my kids' art. It's all over the wall in in New Orleans. And I walk by it every time I walk down the hall, and it's nice to see. Um, it seems a little silly, like oh, I'm gonna miss the crappy drawings. Um, but there, there. When you have, I guess, since I have kids now, I don't look at them as crappy little kid drawings anymore. I look at that as like that's the time they had to do something in school uh, where they got to be creative. Um, yeah, Willie. My daughter wants me to re-register to teach, and I used to be a substitute teacher for Calcasieu Parish. Um, I was mortified to register again after the divorce because of the allegations that were made, and how everything is kind of interconnected here, the school board and the legal system. And I'd done some political campaigning for a candidate for district attorney, and right after that is whenever the divorce happened, and there was all these allegations, and you're not supposed they're not supposed to share information about your case, but it's a small town, so everybody is, you know, on the low down. Did you hear about what happened with da, da, da? So, um, yeah, I mean, it may be an irrational fear, uh, but even when I was substituting at the high school, man, like as a substitute teacher or even as a regular teacher, like my friend Ashley was in the system for almost 20 years. And it got to a point to where she said, you know what? Fuck this. I can't teach. They won't let me teach because these kids are allowed to basically string you up for any little thing. So, you know, you almost have to sew your mouth shut because there's damn near anything you could say as a teacher could get you into trouble. So, but my daughter wants me to sub. And I am very tempted to, and I feel like it's actually probably a good idea to go sub. And that gets me closer to my kids and see what's going on. I don't know if you guys have an opinion about that. I'm curious because it seems part of me thinks that would be since I'm, according to my daughter and her friends, the cool dad, that would be not the worst thing, but at the same time, being the cool teacher actually really sucks because the rest of the teachers will get jealous and try to take you out. So, yeah, Whitney, everybody know everything in them small towns. Yeah. So, those are things, floating around in my brain. I know that I could substitute and not make more money than if, I'm still waiting. I've got like 50, 60 more days before the SSI makes their decision. They delayed it again. I was supposed to know by this month or last month on the 25th, but no dice on that. They said when I called back, said if you don't get a check or a mail or a piece of mail, email of some kind before the 25th or by the 25th, call us back. Well, I called back, and the first message that I got was all SSI cases will be delayed for another 200 to 230 days. So I asked the lady that I talked to about all that, And she said, well, your case has been in for 127 days, so, that counts towards the um, total number of days. So you have blah number of days until we make a decision on your blah, blah, blah. I mean, I have needed some help and assistance since 2015, 2016. And here I am in 2024 on step 3 out of 5 on my appeal process for reconsideration. It's almost over, I guess. I keep saying that. This shit takes forever. The SSDI claim was denied because of eligibility and earnings. I only have 30 out of 40 work credits, so that's not happening and cannot be reconsidered until I turn 50, assuming I live that long. So, step 3 out of 5 SSI. I'm assuming step 4 is like, okay, you're either approved or disapproved. And step 5 is if you're approved, then they distribute your check or whatever. What do we got here? Oh, Willie, principles. Yeah, luckily I know a lot of the principles here, and I'm not that. It hasn't been so long that some of the teachers don't remember me, because I do know a few teachers in the school system here, and some of the principals. And my thing is am I capable of subbing middle school? I don't know, because the first time I went to Maplewood was the last time I subbed at Maplewood, and I got in plenty of trouble there for just walking into the building with sunglasses on. So I don't fucking know what that's gonna be like. Good morning, Tiff. No, sorry. Don't be sorry. Last time they said you presented too well, whatever that means. Yeah, the issue that I've run into with disability almost every time is that they're like, well, with all these problems that are listed here and all your medical and mental health records, you seem okay. So why do you need help? Yeah, okay, I seem okay. I've been in therapy for 7 years and have had to employ learn lots of coping skills. So I guess I present well. Good morning, Sophia. I wouldn't even, Sophia, I wouldn't say that the rules are weird. They are like, I guess they could be called weird, but really what they are is like, oh no, we've already embezzled that money. So until we can find a way to replace the embezzled money that was meant for helping, people of our country, then you're just going to have to wait, And this past year, they announced they were cutting like 30 million people off of SSDI. So go in. I have gone in. I go in. I had an advocate who was a supervisor, and he's the one who actually got the SSDI pushed through, and I didn't have enough work credits, so it wasn't his fault. It just, that's what it was. But I had to get someone to help me, like a person, and see them face to face, and call them every week. And I did that. But with SSI income, uh, there's no, as far as I know, local person. So yeah, if anything's weird, uh, yeah, Willie and Sophia, like if anything's weird, it's that they don't see if it's not visible, then it doesn't exist. So, if I'm not missing an arm or an eyeball or a leg or uh, if I can control the voices in my head and not let them go blah 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 blah, blah like a person in a mental ward to the people that I'm getting interviewed by, then no problem. Like, you're good. You're good. Why do you need help? Fuck off. We've embezzled all that money. We need to find more money to help you, and we don't really want to. So, yeah, kick rocks, bruh. So, okay, I say Tiff. I put into it. So much of my family has put into it and never needed it. It is here for when we need it. It's a bear to get. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have two. I paid taxes every job I was at, except for when I was gigging and I was 1099, and then I was responsible for paying my taxes. And I did pay the taxes for 2 years, but I think there's 2 years that I didn't pay the 1099 taxes. Really? Do you do that, Tiff? You just get in a wheelchair and roll up to the disability office? Maybe that's something I should do. That seems extreme, but I mean, yeah, extreme times call for extreme measures. Then there's the thing that also confuses people, like, like, well, what is it that you do here? There is a positive side to all of this recovery that sucked, is that, in order to keep my mind busy and active, and to some extent my body, I continued to develop what was extracurricular and hobby activities, like music and building studios. So people assume that, like, that's a job and I make money from it, and nothing is further from the truth. If anything, it's just money I don't have that is getting spent. So, and also people seem to associate that with some sort of glamorous fucking lifestyle. Like, oh, I saw a picture of you at this fancy studio with so and so from this band, and they're a Grammy winner. Okay, I'm still poor. I'm still like, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I have places to stay, because if I didn't, I would not only be poor, I'd be homeless too. And all of the stuff that has been given to me to keep me occupied, like the board, the broadcast console, and everything, like, that would have to be sold in order for me to have a place to stay. I'm talking at different points throughout the last almost decade now. So, don't make it easier on them to deny you by playing tough. I haven't been. As far as I know, I mean, short of like falling on the floor on my knees and crying and weeping and sobbing and saying, please help me. I haven't been. There's something about that I don't think would work. Because it wouldn't be genuine and authentic. I'd be acting if I did that. Because I am tough and I can survive. So it doesn't mean that it's, I want to do it like this. It does not mean that. Whitney, my doctor has sat me down and said, you are an underreporter. He means I always say everything is okay when it's not. It's an anxiety thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, full disclosure, yeah, I'm not okay. I haven't been for a long time. Things are getting better. I can't deny that. Being closer to my kids, having that opportunity, and the things that have occurred that have allowed that to happen are nothing short of a fucking miracle. But that's a piece of the puzzle, you know. Autonomy, for me, has a direct correlation to self-confidence, willingness to do stuff, and I just haven't had a lot of that. Yeah, well, the the blood of the covenant, Willie. Yeah, family, sure. In some cases, it's not. It's like Cynthia says, blood don't make family. So I've got family for sure, and you know, but you'd think I'd have more support from the family. I don't. I have more support from my blood of the covenant family. So, of which you guys are a part of, whether you like it or not. Because we're here on Monday, the 20th of May, drinking coffee, talking about disability, anxiety. Last week we talked about over coping, going overboard with the coping skills. What happens when you do that? That was an interesting subject because I had, it was like 3 weeks, and I hadn't slept much, and I have caught up quite a bit on the sleep. But that seemed to be a result of over coping. I was just employing every coping skill I could. Cowboy was here for 8 days, and I could only sleep 2, 4, 6 hours at a time, randomly. And while that may have not been an issue 10 years ago, 15 years ago, in my 20s, like, oh yeah, I can operate on 6 hours of sleep and go for another 24 hours. Yeah, it's not what it is anymore. I need my sleep, I need my rest, I need my naps. I need my naps too. And yeah, the traveling, the white lines on the road with the gong, 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 gong. In some places here in Louisiana, it's usually doing all right enough, but that's not the goal for life, to be all right enough and functioning. Yeah, I agree. I wanted to recommend Netflix documentary that's on Netflix. 2024 Cold War documentary. Let me see what it's called here. Sign in. No. Netflix 2024 Cold War documentary is called Turning Point, the Bomb in the Cold War. It's great. It's brand new. A lot of great footage. Enhanced by AI. And for all we know, this could all be AI. That's the thing that trips me out. Like, what we watch now could just be all generative AI. What a trip. You can take a clip, an old ass clip from like World War II, and prompt an AI and say, hey, make this a little different. You know, make this different. Let's retcon this shit. And, oh, Whitney. Boy, don't I know it. You know, I live in an industrial town, which was one of the top 3 targets during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I remember being a kid and the adults talking about this stuff all the time. And like, you know, we're number 2 today. And I'm like, I know what nuclear war is. I mean, I don't know what it is. I know what it looks like from the bomb footages, you know, and these bombs are fucking huge. And they kill so many people. And then they kill way more people after. So, but if this documentary is even half true, there's a lot of really good information in there. And then there's the nostalgia, Whitney. You can go back and relive some of these moments. The Berlin Wall coming down. And I thought about you, Sophia, because you said you're up in northern Germany. Like, where were you when the wall came down? And did you have family in East Germany? Where were you in all of this? What was your experience like being there? Day After movie sent me over the edge. Oh, the day after. Yeah. They mentioned that in the documentary. Yeah, not to give you anxiety. That's not, but I think you might like this one, Whitney. It's 9 episodes. But there are people from NATO talking about stuff they haven't talked about before in regards to post World War II Soviet activities. And, you know, the thing that really it didn't trip me out. The thing that I was glad that they pointed out multiple times was like, hey, you know, they want to point the finger at Russia all the time and say, and this could be a totally like a Russia propaganda piece. I don't know. But they do point the finger at Russia a lot, saying, well, they overthrew this government, and they did this, and they did that, and they have oligarchs. And I'm like, yeah, what's the fucking difference between them and us? We've overthrown governments, and we have fucking oligarchs. They're just slightly different. It all came about a different way. But we do the same damn things. So, it's a fucked up situation the world's in right now. Oh, hey, caveman. Good morning. What are we talking about? BRICS? I don't know what that means. Malcolm Nance? I don't know who that is. Okay, Sophia, I was awake and almost 1 year old when the wall came down, and we had one family member in East Germany. Not sure how she was related. God bless. Oh my God. See, it just affected so many people. So fucked. Well, I heard from Alex. He's been in on the West Coast uh, last week, and I think he's headed back to London. Um, he went and hung out with Jeff and Karen, and I'm getting spam texts. Hello, I'm Evelyn. Are you interested in remote positions? I can provide you with more information related to this. Question mark? You, that's not the appropriate grammar there. Stop. I wonder if that'll work. Yeah, we did too, Whitney. When the wall came down, it was like a whole week of celebration. Uh, at school. We talked a lot about that. Of course, we didn't talk about a lot of the conditions inside East Berlin. It was just so brutal, and we were kids. But the documentary is great. I highly recommend it. Uh, nice, Whitney. Is that what you say to the bots? When you use inappropriate grammar, I think you're a bot. BRICS one is the new currency that Russia is trying to dethrone the U.S. dollar with. Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, I believe that Scorpions did a concert in, I want to say Russia somewhere. Because I remember having the live concert. Uh, maybe it was in Bucharest, which I don't know if is. I'm really bad about the Eastern Bloc countries, knowing where they are. I only know Latvia because my friend Ganji, Carlos Ancon, is from Latvia. And of course, he's very passionate about all of this that's going on because it's right in his backyard. When the Russians came with their unmarked military uniforms, they were in Latvia and they came through Latvia. And we were terrified for him. He's part of the gaming community that, what the hell was I going to Google? I don't remember. Let's see here. Yeah, get your comfort items. Pantera was there. Phil. There's a guy here in town I know who's in a band called Choke since the the 80s really. And him and Phil go way back, and do. They never played with Pantera. They played with Down and some other bands, mostly in New Orleans, in Austin, and occasionally you'll see like Zach Wilde or Phil Anselmo, and when what's his name, the guitarist, was alive. Sometimes you'd see him at Walmart here in Lake Charles. People post pictures. I just ran into Zach Wilde at Walmart. Southern metal scene. So I was looking up. Oh yeah, Scorpions concert after Berlin Wall. The Scorpions performed at the Wall live in Berlin on July 21st, 1990 to commemorate the fall of Berlin. Well, that's the one that I had the recording of, and they played on some vacant land in between the Potsdamer Gate or the Potsdamer Plaza, I guess, and the Brandenburg Gate, which was no man's land. They had multiple artists: Roger Waters, Rudolf Schenker, Matthias Jobs, Francis Buchholz, Herman uh, Rarbel, and the Rundfunk Orchestra. But the Scorpions just they were awesome. That recording was great. Yeah, Dimebag. Mm-hmm. Um, the documentary reminded me of how much, just in the 4 decades that I've been alive, uh, and then also like going to these school events and seeing the kids, um, they've lived through some shit too, hurricanes. My son lived through the hurricane that came through and destroyed his hometown on his birthday. Um, and yeah, it brought back a flood of memories, some nostalgic, but also like, wow, we lived through that. There was some bad shit, bad times, domestically as well. Um, and it makes, just makes me think about all these people in power, man. Like, what in the fuck? I've talked about cult stuff for a long time on YouTube, and there's no difference to me with governments. It's just cultures that are batshit insane, doing what they want, what they will, what they please to their subjects. And you cannot fight them. You can't fight them. It's an all or nothing wager. It's what you call it? Oh, zero sum game. Seems like. But then, as an American looking out at these other countries in our lifetime, they're like, you know what? Fuck you, government. We don't want that. And this is what we're going to be willing to fucking die for. I'm not overly patriotic. I don't feel like I'm patriotic. Period, really. I think that patriotism is kind of silly. At the same time, I value freedom. Like the meathead Jocko, who I like actually. I like his messages, anyways. If you're not familiar with Jocko, it's Joccko, and he does a lot of interviews with all kinds of YouTubers. But he was asked a question on Tom Bailey's podcast, and the answer was, to me, perfect. Because he was asked if he could stand up, if he could, because he was a deployed Marine, he was a spec ops dude, and he did a lot of fucked up things. You do that in the armies and in the armed services. You're trained to do your job, but your job many times is, you know, hurting people, taking people's lives. And he was asked a question from Tom Bailey, who fields pretty good questions. And I'm trying to remember the exact phrasing. It was about freedom, because a lot of people say, in America we're not free. So, and I can understand that point of view for sure, because there's a lot of things that you don't feel free. However, the point that he made was, if there was something that I would, if he had to kneel before an altar of anything, like, what would it be? And he said he would kneel before the altar of freedom before America, because regardless of what country you're in, if you have the freedom, if you have freedom and you kneel before freedom, then you have that. Then you have freedom to kneel before whatever the hell you want to kneel before, whatever belief you have, whatever your core principles are, your, what your integrity is. You have the freedom to do that. And so that for him, in his service and even in his business, he said that that was a guiding principle, the freedom, regardless of any nation, So I think that that's something that's lost, myself included. I'm guilty of slamming my fist in it. There's no fucking freedom here. Well, in reality, there is. We're not. There are places in the country that will treat you in a punitive way if you don't believe a certain thing or whatever. But the law of the land is freedom. And even if you exercise that freedom and are punished for it, you still have the freedom to go get punished by the populace. So there you go, rant over. You went in as a poli-sci with Russian majors. Now just realizing, wow, what a trip, Whitney. That's wild. That was the TV station's orchestra. That's cool. I can just about imagine Roger Waters in 1990, at the wall. Tear down the wall. Yeah. I can't argue with that, Willie. You can, just watch Hacksaw Ridge. This was decades ago, and we had a conscientious objector who won a Medal of Honor. So, yeah, he wanted to serve, but he didn't want to kill anybody. And he got all kinds of punished for exercising his freedom while in the military. And he still ended up winning the Medal of Honor for saving so many lives. He exercised his freedom in the military, and they tried to say, you don't have that freedom. Well, they can tell him that all he wanted. He knew he had freedom to not pick up a weapon. And, finally they're just like, Jesus Christ, are you mentally ill? Whatever. They tried to get rid of him in all kinds of ways. He stood his ground. And, the word hero is to me, almost a loaded word, because most people that get called heroes don't think they're heroes, and they were just as scared as everybody else. The difference between a quote hero and just a regular non-hero, I guess, is that in spite of the fear, you do it anyway. You're scared as fuck, but you do it anyway because it needs to be done, or it is an impulse that you have. Some people may have an impulse to do something, and the fear doesn't stop them. Doesn't mean they don't have fear. Fear and courage are like two sides of the same coin, kind of like the Andrew Bustamante says that manipulation and collaboration, I think it's collaboration, are two sides of the same coin. But Oh, Whitney, you saw Roger Waters at Coachella when that inflatable pig escaped and floated away. Well, sometimes shows do accidents on purpose so that they're memorable. I don't know if that was an accident or not. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But a giant pig floating off into the sky in Coachella sounds pretty cool to me. So, yeah, instead of the whole hour, because I got to make a drive back to New Orleans, gonna start wrapping up. But I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Aaron is not available. So he got called into work, and Austin was still asleep. And I've got a good record going here for. I haven't missed a broadcast on Mondays. Um, they've offered 10 grand for it. Wow. Sophia, that's a great thing you said. I'm going to read what Sophia said. The thing I don't like about the hero mindset is that it leads to binary thinking where it's good or bad, hero or villain, instead of acknowledging the gray in between. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. I completely agree with that. Like these extremes, you know, like, he's a hero. Well, maybe he doesn't feel that way, or she doesn't feel that way. Uh, if you watched the Clint Eastwood uh, double feature, Flags of Our Fathers and Flags of Our Fathers and Letters to Iwo Jima, I think is what it's called, or Letters from Iwo Jima. You see both sides of the conflict, and it's all very humanized. Uh, the guy that got the flag up there, Ira, his name is Ira, by the way. He was a Native American, and they brought him on a war bond tour. Well, he was in Iwo Jima, and it was just horrific. And they bring him back to the States. Here, enjoy your freedom. Have a Coca-Cola. Have a Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola, and come uh, come sell war bonds and do your duty as an American patriot. And oh, by the way, we don't want to hear about your mental illness. You're a hero, so act like it. Um, when he started drinking heavily, he got called all of the stereotypical racist uh, Native American characterizations. Oh, stay away from that fire water engine. Why is he drinking so much? Well, he's a redskin. Morning, Alex. Good morning, buddy. I didn't want to miss a broadcast, but I am going to do just an hour this morning because I've got company. I don't want to be rude, and we need to make our way back to New Orleans. I'm not sure where you're at, if you're en route back to London or still somewhere running around the airports. But good morning, bruh. Hope you had a good visit to the States. Are you still in LA? All right, cool. So it's at 9 o'clock there in the morning. You been walking them dogs? Them pretty dogs? Any protesting going on over there? Morning, Miss J. So there's this now for something completely different. There's this YouTube channel called Obscurest Vinyl. I want to recommend, and they have an absolute banger called "I Glued My Balls to My Butthole Again." And before you judge, just listen. It is a banger. It's AI made. Clearly, it's a generative AI, and it's like a Motown song. But I'm going to tell you that the melody and everything, and this isn't the case with all of the Obscurest Vinyl stuff. Some of it's okay, some of it sucks, some of it's bangers. And I'll just recommend the one song, "I Glued My Balls to My Butthole Again." Uh, oh, man. Where y'all going to eat breakfast, Alex? There's so many good places to eat in LA. I like to go to Canner's and have breakfast and get corned beef hash and uh, three eggs over easy and some toast. But I like to mash all that corned beef hash together with the eggs. It's good. Um, yeah, I could definitely use some gas money. Cynthia's posting this shit. I don't just I don't expect y'all to. I don't have expectations of that. Um, not every you know not to sound like a dick, uh, but it's just my imagination, or did some of y'all have some serious issues too and have problems? So it's one of those things that, like, if you can, cool. If not, we're here together. We all got problems. And I like to start because I haven't had on Mondays because I haven't had when I realize I haven't had a work week, you know, for years. I'm like, you know what? If I start and do a broadcast every Monday, then that'll give me a start to my week, and it does help. It does seem to help me mentally, like sort of get myself ready for 5 days, and it also helps me sort of be like, oh, the weekend is coming. And I missed that feeling of, like, oh, fuck, the weekend's here, finally. Uh, Someplace in Burbank. Went there the other day. It was lovely. Yeah, sounds lovely. Burbank is a nice place. Hello, Form 13. I'm getting ready to wrap up here an hour early. But welcome. Sophia, let's see here. Yeah. I'll read Sophia's comment, another comment. She says, "Patriotism is such a weird concept to me. If you're expected to just think of your country as the best, we won't get better if we don't call shit out and expect better." Totally. You know, um, countries are not sports teams. Uh, the losers, if they were, are dead in most cases. So, yeah, we need to call shit out. And that's some of what the documentary was talking about. Like, before, there were opportunities for not just the United States, but other members of NATO to sort of be like, yeah, we accidentally the dot, 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 whatever. And that really kind of fucked over. I mean, the Cold War was like gridlock. So it was very no holds barred. So I glue my balls to my butthole again. Oh my God, what did I do? I can't take a dump 'cause my balls are blocking up my butthole. Oh. Yeah, that's a question I want to know too from Amy. Alex, have you seen Laura while in LA? I saw that she had a date at the Viper Room, and I was curious if that happened yet. Um, yeah, uh, it's still funny to me. Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute, and then I'll run it, and then we can chat a little bit, and then we gotta hit the road. Uh, if you got some loose change for gas money, that would be greatly appreciated. But like I said, it's not an expectation ever. Until I start selling like merch or something, then I'll be like, yeah, buy my merch. If I had records to sell, I'd be, well, I say I would be. I should be. If I had records to sell, like trying to pimp that out to y'all. Um, but I don't have any records physical to sell. So, go check out the record at least. Pain and Suffering on Spotify and all digital platforms and um, listen to it. So much drama in LA? Whatever. You haven't been to Pack Base? Have you ever been to Pack Base, Alex? Because when I went to Flag, I was really freaked out because, like, I wasn't a Scientologist anymore, and I felt like I might have been like kidnapped or something, like walking down an alley. I don't think I'd feel that way at Pack Base. I feel like I would walk competently and confidently at Pack Base because that used to be my area, you know. Um, Drove past it on the day I got here, and that's it. Yeah, I used to live right by the hospital there, and it was 2 blocks uh, from where Travis and I were staying in Los Feliz. So I was very comfortable there, and I feel like if I went back, like I could just walk down the street, and yeah, they might know I'm an SP or in Theta or whatever, but like if you just walk down L. Ron Hubbard Way, it's basically like one city block, and that's their area. Of course, there are the areas around there that aren't really marked. You got Bridge Publications on the corner. Across the street, you have the workshop, which is a slave labor camp. But most people don't even know that that's what's there. Of course, it's been years since I've been there, so I don't know. Pack Base never freaked you out before when you went to LA, but now it does, so that's weird. I mean, yeah, the if you get roped into any kind of Division 6 area, the mode of communication is very intense. They'll be staring at you with the TR0 eyes and being very direct with you and asking you things like, do you care about your immortal spiritual being? Do you care about your eternity? Because if you do, I blinked. Oops. Flunk. Oh, you went to gold. Thank God I didn't go to gold. I was offered a position at gold. I'd probably still be there. How fucking scary. it would freak me out too going to Gold, man, because that place is like a Nazi camp. You look at the fucking fence, it's like, dude, if you tried to get out of there, you'd get ripped to shreds. Well, I'm glad you're here this morning, Alex. Love you, dude. Be safe out there. Tell Karen and Jeff I said hello. And holler at me when you get back and you know, I mean, and let's have a chat and see. You know, I'm just curious how the trip went. Uh, so yeah, that's it's 11:04 a.m. May 20th. This is Monday, so carpe diem. You got the whole week, and then next week is the end of the month. Next Friday is the 31st, which will bring us into June, which will put me and everyone here in the South smack dab at the beginning of hurricane season. So, hopefully, we will not get smacked with a hurricane. Yeah, June's coming. I always think of the Smashing Pumpkins songs by June. Like, I gotta get something done by June. By June. Said you're going to the moon. Du, 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 du. Sounds good, Alex. Willie, Whitney, Amy, Caveman, Ann. Hey, Ann, I hope you're doing good. Miss J, everybody. Tiff, Sophia, Lisa. Oh, Lisa. Big hug, Lisa. Oh, yeah. Travis watched some of it and he sent me a message about Billy Corgan's new circus thing. And he just sent an ellipses. He's like, I just watched Billy Corgan's new thing on the thing, ... I haven't watched it. Maybe it's really weird, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. No one should be. Billy Corgan's weird. I love his music. I love his writing. Later, Whitney. Tim, Xenu. Live long and prosper. I'm going to run it. It's an hour shorter than what we're used to. Next Monday, we'll do two hours. So, love you guys. Peace. If you can toss me some gas money, that'd be awesome. Not an expectation, not even required. We're all fucked up here. We're just here to talk and support each other. So, love y'all. Peace out. Live long and prosper.